Peace and love, divine beings. Welcome back to SPEAKZ podcast. In this podcast, we let the soul speak its mind. No more holding back, no more holding in. We divinely healing over here. We speak our truth, and sometimes the truth is messy. As above, so below. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about left behind. So, I'm not really sure how many people have heard of left behind. People will call me a millennial, but I'm old school. But at the same time, I'm not as educated on the Left Behind series. Now, if you're not new here, you know that I have a little prince here, so I can't avoid his noise, okay? But, so Left Behind. Growing up, I used to hear, I guess, the audiobook series, or they had it like on a CD, and I used to hear, what it was about in quotes. I was young, so I really don't know the whole synopsis, but I am going to read a little bit of the synopsis for us so we can just have a picture of what they were talking about and what I'm going to be talking about. Well, growing up, I got the picture that the good people left the bad people here. So they all, got beamed up into the sky with no clothes, and pretty much everybody here on Earth was left to mourn and to just figure out what to do with their life after that. Now, I have a different perspective on it, and Spirit has really, blew my wig back, as Isis Wisdom would say. That blew my wig back with the download that I got, and just talking about Left Behind and what's been going on with the age of Aquarius, and last year with the age of Pisces, and just the new earth shift. So I'm going to read the summary for Left Behind. So it started off as a book. So the main series, Left Behind, tells the story of the end times, set in the contemporary era, in which true believers in Christ have been raptured, taken instantly to heaven, leaving the world shattered and chaotic. As people scramble for answers, a politician rises to become a part of the United Nations, promising to restore peace and stability to all nations. Now, and what they don't realize is that person was actually the Antichrist foretold in the Bible. Now, I'm going to pause there because I didn't even want to read that far with the summary, but man, oh man, okay, wow. So, like I said, growing up and hearing the little audiobook or hearing the book on the CD, I was like, okay, the good people leave here and the other people are left, right? Like, and it just, like, with that whole religious standpoint, it didn't really make sense to me if true believers leave and people stay. Like, it didn't make that much sense to me, but I kind of get it in two different ways. So one way I get that, this is what I'm going to talk about later, is there's the new shift. So a lot of people have been left behind because they are stuck at a lower level thinking, so they can't rise above, okay? But then also, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like we really are leaving people behind right now as we speak. Like, we're leaving people behind for their actions, for the way they think, for their cycles. it's just interesting. Let me see what these notes are talking about, because I can already see I'm getting off these notes. If you know me and you've been listening for a while, I get off the notes. Okay, so let's see. They are left behind in their hellhole. We are in a different dimension. So that's interesting, because I was like, oh, like I did not put into the perspective that, when we ascend to 5D or 6D or 7D, 8D, that the other people will be left to deal with their lower level earth and be dealt with the chaotic energies that come with that, right? Like, we didn't really think about that. We're just like, oh, like we go to heaven and blah blah blah, or some people go to hell and blah blah blah. But we don't really talk about the new shit that's happening on earth right now as we speak, where certain people have participated in certain acts that has now kept their soul here, that has now put them in a karmic cycle. And for those actions, they have to be left behind. There's a lot of people ascending, having ascension symptoms, expanding their mind, expanding their consciousness, healing their hearts, healing mind, body, and soul, and making sure that their astral body is purified so that they can reach certain heights in the spiritual realm, in the astral realm. And there's other people who are not doing that. They don't even know what the astral realm is. They don't even want to look into it. What the hell is sleep paralysis? What the hell is, lucid dreaming? What the hell is meditating? What's a star seed? There's some people who are just programmed to continue to stay ignorant. Okay. Let's see. We all thought they would leave all clothes and just disappear. That's what we did. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, so because I've been hearing a lot about how when we do ascend to our higher dimensions, when the solar flash gets here, we really won't need material items. We won't need material things, material possessions. We won't even really be eating really that much, because the sun is really what is going to be nourishing us. And if we have been ascending, we notice that we aren't eating as much, and that the sun does nourish us and give us all of the nutrients we need, because we are carbonated beings. But that is what it might seem like to them. Like, some people thought that that was a scary depiction on the rapture, right? But it's not that scary to the people who will be quote unquote raptured. Like, if you think about it, a lot of us really don't need these clothes. A lot of people don't. We don't. Those of a certain vibration, a high vibration, we are not worried about clothes, shoes, fanciest cars, what type of products we're putting on our body. No, we're not worried about that. We are worried about our minds ascending, our diets getting better. We're focused and interested in creating sacred libraries for our homes, making sure our lands are secure. So, yes, left behind. It's really a vibrational shift. Because there has been a lot of people in my life that are left behind. I actually feel like where are we? That's where I'm at right now. Where are we? What year are we in? Like that's where I'm at. What planet are we on? Because some of the things that people are doing doesn't make sense to me, and it will never make sense to me because I'm not from here. And if you're on a certain vibration, you can feel me on that. We probably are in the Left Behind series right now, because a lot of people are actually dropping like flies, and not because they're true believers of Christ. Okay, that's not why they're leaving. They're leaving because their heart is too heavy. They're leaving because they made certain choices karma-wise. They've made certain decisions that they can't come back from. Some people are getting left behind because they've left creative blocks for us. Chakra blocks. They've been hiding who they really are behind the scenes. We have battled them in past lives. I had a dream because my first podcast, I talked about this karmic parent. So recently, I had a dream about this karmic parent. I asked this parent if they hated me, and they said, "I've always hated you. You've been trying to get rid of me forever." So imagine that. Me wondering why I couldn't get the love from this parent is because they're actually incapable of doing so, because they actually hate me, because they actually been sent on a mission to fuck up my life for many lifetimes. Imagine that. So when my empathetic feelings and my empathetic self come into play, and I'm like, oh, well, that's my parent, and no, they're left behind. Meaning, when they see me leave and go to the new earth, it's a wrap. You have to stay here on your hellhole, like I mentioned before. We're rising above the negative, karmic, evil, malicious energies, entities. And even though we can't avoid them, we know how to manage our energy now when it comes to them. We know how to guard ourselves when it comes to them. We know how to completely remove that energy so it can't even, we will know. We will be on high alert before it even comes around. So like I said before, some of these people who are getting left behind right now in this day and age, the people we are not vibing with no more, because right now it is vibration that we are feeling. 2, 3, 4 years ago, we could just bond over a TV show. We can bond over trauma, and it was no problem. Nowadays, we are putting the pin in it. Oh, this relationship was built off trauma. Oh, this relationship is nothing but gaslighting. Oh, this relationship is nothing but codependency. Oh, this relationship only brings out drama and mirrors my shadow side in a very unhealed way. These are the people that are getting left behind. Some of these people thought they were leaving us out in the cold. No, they are being left behind. They should have realized the blessing and the gift that we were. The divine created us to be a gift for some people to wake up. Some people didn't take that call. They didn't hear that call. Many are called, few are chosen. Let those who have ears hear. Some of these people didn't want to hear. Some of these people are incapable of loving. That's why they won't make it to the new earth. That's why they are left behind, because the highest frequency is love. We have to lighten our hearts. We have to forgive. Our hearts cannot be black. Our hearts cannot have holes in it, and wounds and stab wounds, and they can't have voids. Our hearts have to be healed, nurtured, and light. That's the way Mayat wants it, desires it, the way it must go. We're leaving behind people who cast blame on others, and they don't take any responsibility or accountability for the actions that they have taken. We are leaving behind people who cast judgment. We are leaving behind people who can't even express themselves. We're leaving people behind who couldn't see the veil. Some things were very obvious. And certain people can't take the truth. Like I say on this channel. Like I say in this podcast. The truth gets messy. As above, so below. The truth isn't always clean. And the more you keep trying to cover it up, the messier it's going to get when it comes out. When it hits the fan, of course. We're leaving behind people who choose to stay stuck, who don't want to think better, who don't want to learn more, educate themselves, who don't want to unlearn the things that they have learned that were incorrect. It's okay to be ignorant because they conditioned us to be that way. But are you going to push yourself to be wise, to be knowledgeable, to go within, to heal, and to find out some cosmic information? We're leaving behind the people who sabotage themselves and project that onto us, and so that we adopt the feeling of self-sabotage. We're leaving behind the people who do not speak the law of reciprocity. We are leaving behind the crabs in a barrel mentality. We're also leaving behind those crabs. Because let me tell you, we're talking about left behind, right? There's certain people who wanted you to stay in a low vibration, not educating yourself on ancient wisdom, on anything sacred. They wanted you keep you here so that they aren't left behind with your progress. What do we talk about in this summary? There are the quote-unquote believer, the true believers of Christ that get raptured and they leave, leaving the people who didn't really believe down below to deal with the chaos, correct? So, there have been people from certain lifetimes that have been doing this for lifetimes. They are on a mission to try to keep you lower, keep you down, keep you with your face in the dirt, your tail between your legs. They don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to feel worthy. They don't want you to feel educated. They don't want you to feel like you're royalty. They don't want you to see that you are royalty. They don't want you to see your ancestors that look like you. They don't want you to acknowledge the power that you have within. They want you to continue to stay stagnant, continue to stay low, continue to stay in this matrix, continue to stay in a mindset where you can't even picture anything above the stars. You won't even shoot for the stars because you're not even looking at them to shoot for them. This is why you have been led to step away from certain people. You have been guided to stop doing certain things, guided to stop expressing certain things to people. These are people that will be left behind, and you had to personally leave them behind so that you can ascend. Because they are doing nothing but keeping you down, the crabs in a barrel mentality. If one crab sees another crab trying to get out the barrel, they will all, as a hive mind, try to pull that one down. If one crab sees one other crab trying to escape, they all. So where did they all come from? You got one leader that's a hater, like, hey, look at this one, look at Bobby trying to leave. Now they all team up against you. Isn't that what they say? You can't even really make it in your own hometown. They hate you in your own hometown. Isn't that what they say? That's why you're leaving them behind. I was watching Adventures Endgame. And, you know, everybody was sad in the beginning. Everybody was sad because of the solar flash and because Thanos, you know, snapped his fingers and it was a wrap. But pretty much he said that, and I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much did say that, like, he thought that they would be grateful because the people that should have stayed, he felt they were meant to stay. You know what I mean? He had to get rid of some people. But of course, they went back in the future and changed it so that certain people can come back. And that's also a part of the karma, right? Because they had to do some things. They had to go into the past, clear some things up in order for things to work out for their benefit in the future. But then he said, when they were coming back, he said, oh, well, I'm going to make sure that when I do it this time, I'm going to do it for good and make sure there are no people that are ungrateful. You know, paraphrasing, right? We are in judgment season. People have been talking a lot about us being in Revelations, us going through judgment. I talk a lot about Mayat and how she is the lady of judgment, the lady of justice, and it is true. If we haven't seen that since 2019, I don't know what y'all been looking at. We are in judgment right now. And there's a lot of people getting hit with more judgment stones than we are. I'm going to just keep it real. Because there's been a lot of decisions that people have been making that has kept them behind. So now they will get left behind. So now you're hating outside the club because you can't get in. So be mindful of who's in your energy, who's around your energy, who is upset with you right now, who has been appearing in your dream state, who has been appearing in your mind, like when it comes to nostalgic thoughts. Be mindful of how your chakras feel. If you want to talk about something in particular and feel like, you can, or feel like you have a pain somewhere, do some cleansing. Make sure you cleanse the negative energy around you, around your home, in your vehicle. Make sure you put your guards up. Make sure you're releasing all of the negative energy from these people that used to be in your energy that you have left behind. You have ascended. You have. If you came across this, you have ascended. You are a sensei. You are a priest. You are a high priestess. You are a high priest. You are an emperor, an empress. You are a queen, a king. You are a goddess, a god. And they don't want you to know that. And shit, and like in many of y'all cases, y'all been trying to get rid of motherfuckers forever. So, no. These people that I have cut off and have had distance from will not be returning to my energy. Because dreams like that, only prophets, seers, oracles, ascended masters receive. Take your dreams seriously if you're getting them. If you are not getting them, write a note about being protected in the spiritual realm. Hey, ancestors, spirit guides, and angels of the divine light, I would love to be protected during the dream state so I can receive messages. The messages you would like for me to receive. It's getting serious. We're going to have visions and speak things and see things. Because we are in the last days, but we have many days to go because we have time to wake up people and wake those who are on that alignment to getting towards our vibration, not those who are going to be left behind, because those are the ones dragging you down. Those are the crabs. And we are not in that barrel. We're looking over the barrel like, I see. I see why it took me this long. I see why it took me this lifetime to get out. Because I probably listened to you in that barrel. Oh, it's nothing out there for you. Da, da, da. You're not going to be a free man. You never know. That's why we're healing over here. Because we're breaking these generational curses. We're getting rid of these traumas so that they can't affect our new seeds that we're planting. The star seeds that are growing within our wombs. We are preparing the new earth for the beings that will actually appreciate it. And all of those who did not appreciate it and who were ungrateful and who were malicious and evil and very ignorant to how Mama Gaia works, to how Amun Ra works, to how the universe and the cosmos work, they will be left behind. They will be left behind. So, thank you for tuning in to Soul Speaks podcast. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. Peace and love.